gonna shut it down. The crown holder, DJ Matt Knox.
Thank you for tuning in. It's your man HRap coming at you live and direct as I do every Saturday. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Depends on what time you listening. That's what time it is. This is State of the Bench podcast. I have a special guest today. Well, hopefully, it's live, so you never know. But I have a special guest planned today. So let me get the formalities out of the way. You know how I begin every one of my shows. I let you know that this is a podcast. And the reason I let you know that is because, as I said on the notifications today, it's on 24/7, 365. There's no such thing as I missed your show. All you have to do is come in, hit the like button, tune in on Spreaker.com, or you can simply click the link and be on live with me on YouTube. Thank you very much. Thank you. We are on Spreaker.com, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Castbox, Deezer, and Podcast Addict, or wherever you find your podcast. Again, this is HRap B, and I do this every week. I acknowledge my family and my ancestors. Without them, there is no me. So everybody's that is included, and I need the respect and big ups from them. And I also need the blessings from the people who have transitioned. That is everybody included in the Whitmore family: the Pollard, Bailey, Turner, Cotton, Harper, Chris, Lansdowne, Liggins, Duncan, and Williams family. Me, my mother, my father, my brothers, and my sisters. That's who we are. We are always in the building. Thank you for tuning in. If you're in the chat room, I've taken a different turn. Again, man, I have people listening all over the globe, literally all over the globe. So I am going to type in your name instead of acknowledging your name. What I'm going to do while I wait on my special guest is talk about something that I laid out, and that is the acknowledgement of these major corporations a day late, a dollar short in regards to backing up the people in Georgia. This is one of the things that annoys the hell out of me as a black man. And while I wait on my special guest, that's what I'm going to talk about. Major League Baseball, unprompted, allegedly, they took the All-Star game out of Atlanta, which is, again, if in the event that you have an entity like Major League Baseball, speaking about this last year, 6 months ago, 3 months ago, or the moment this bill was presented, we wouldn't be in the situation that we're in. We have a situation to whereas the lawmakers in Georgia are behind a bill that is basically destroying the 14th Amendment, putting you and your family members and the rest of the people that look like me and you in jeopardy. Because in the event that they make it more difficult for us to vote, they make it easier for them to take over the country and dominate and put in partisan laws that will destroy your ability to live comfortably, potentially. When you're living in a country like this and people present it as conservatism and they want to tell you, it's amazing how the conservative movement, whether you're on the R or the D side, it really doesn't make a difference because they're conservative Democrats as well. If you put me in a situation to whereas you want to tell the world that we need more government rule, we need less government control, and then you stop me from putting people in place that I want to do things that I need to do, then what are you doing? You are doing what that is conservatism, and we don't want that. We don't want any parts of that. If you make it illegal for me to hand a friend or family member or a loved one or a neighbor or a stranger a bottle of water in hot-ass Georgia. Sometimes the elections in Georgia are in June or July. So to hand a human being a bottle of water is insane. To restrict weekend voting because black churches in the state of Georgia created a program called Souls to the Polls, and you restrict that. And then you restrict it not because it's an inconvenience to the pollsters, not because it's an inconvenience to anybody in the state of Georgia. You do it because you expanded those things in hopes that you and the people who support you, I'm not going to insult them at all. I made a decision today not to insult anybody. You and the people who support you, you assume that they would get up and go out and vote. But in turn, my folks got out and voted. who voted you out of place. Do I even believe in the voting process? Not really, to be perfectly honest with you, but it doesn't make a difference what I believe in. It doesn't make a difference how I think. What difference it makes is if you restrict me of anything that I can legally do without my permission, without talking to me, without having a conversation, because according to the United States Constitution, this is supposed to be a government that the people allow those people to do things, not that you and your cronies and your hillbilly horde get together because you lost. Because sisters like Stacey Abrams and my sister Brown out of Mississippi, out of Alabama, and other brothers throughout the South created this entity where they're knocking on doors. Tamika Mallory and those people knocking on doors and getting people to the polls. And now all of a sudden you're losing your grip on what you perceive as reality. At that point, we need to step up and show out. Because the reason I don't believe in the electoral process is my community doesn't groom people to go into office. And until we start grooming people to go into office, I am not going to believe in the process, because we're just going to have dozens and dozens of people in office allegedly doing our bidding, but they have never done our bidding in the 50-odd years since the Civil Rights Act. So why would they start now? That is insane. I don't want to believe it. If you believe it, that's cool, because that's the purpose of this conversation. We're having a conversation every week here on Build and Destroy about how to improve our community. My opinion only means anything if you have an opinion to the contrary, or if you go along with it. It doesn't make a difference what I think, because I'm not perfect. I don't proclaim that I know everything. What I do have is a valid opinion. And if you can show me that, hey man, that opinion is half-cocked, let's have a conversation. And when you show me that I have a half-cocked opinion, I will adjust. That's it. That's all. It's not about being right. It's about us getting better. And I just don't want to acknowledge, the reason I brought this up is I don't want to acknowledge Delta. I don't want to acknowledge Coca-Cola. I don't want to acknowledge any of those entities that all of a sudden, Johnny come lately, they're behind us. Because you know what? Guess who drinks the most Coke? People that look like me and you. We power the brand. We are the number one consumers of Coke. So of course, when they see us angry, oh, well, it's just like I always tell people, the dude or your significant other that has messed up for years and years and years, all of a sudden they want to be your best friend when you've decided to leave them. No, thank you. You should have been acting accordingly before this. And this is, if you've had conversation after conversation after conversation with this person about getting better, or if they see you struggling, then hell, why after I'm struggling you want to help when you should have been helping to the point where I would never be struggling? Coca-Cola, I'm not trying to hear it. Every time I turn around, you guys are donating money and making it seem as if you have our backs. But you fund some of these people in the Republican Party that created this law. So where were you when this law was being constructed? They didn't do this in a dark room and then present it to the world. They announced it. They talked about it for 6 to 8 weeks. Nobody stepped up. Delta Airlines, all of a sudden, you want to step up as well. You have a hub in Atlanta. That means most of your people are in Atlanta. And a lot of those people look like me and my folks. And if those people are getting up, going to work every day, and you knew that they were upset, everybody in the state of Georgia knew that this was some nonsense. Everybody. But nobody stepped up. As usual, it was a Johnny come lately situation. And here we go again. We are getting screwed again. But at this point, if I can help it, if I can present any assistance to my folks, what will happen is this. We will continue to put the pressure on these people. We will continue to ignore their tropes and attempts to help us at the 11th hour. No more 11th hour assistance. If you are not in the fight at the beginning, then, hey, I don't give a damn what you're doing now. And that's just the honest to God truth. I'm tired of it, y'all. I'm really sick and tired of it. We continue to forgive and forgive and forgive. We're not angry people, so we continue to forgive. But if you're going to continue to forgive, what we're going to have to do is start letting people know forgiveness is a process that we can forgive you. We can go along with your program and we can acknowledge you that you said, I'm sorry, I've overlooked your pain, But what we will not do is roll with your program anymore. See, that's the thing. We continue to say, hey, man, I know you didn't mean to offend me, but they did. They ignored us. They acted as if we were a second-class group of people. And if we were a second-class group of people, then not a problem. Not a problem. Not a problem. Don't ask us to shop with you. Don't ask us to use your products. Don't ask us to patronize anything that you're doing, because when we needed you, you were silent. And if you're going to be silent when at our greatest moment, continue to be silent. And our dollars will continue to be silent, and everything involved with us will continue to be silent. This is what we have to do, folks. Enough arguing and belly aching, as they call it. And oh man, we need to. No, what we need to do is realize this is the end of the line in regards to forgiveness. We will not be forgiving anybody else. You know, we can have a million misunderstandings, we can have a million mistakes, but we will allot forgiveness to people who have made mistakes. This isn't an oversight. You just realize, you didn't think that we would wake up and go, hey, what do you guys do? You guys didn't support us. What was the problem? What was the problem? And because we usually go, hey man, they should have, we could have, we may have, and things of that nature, and no more of that. This is the end of the road. 2021 is the end of the road. Look, I need my folks. Look, again, I'm not totally convinced in this electoral process, but I am a person who knows how to make good of what is available. And if we're going to make good of what is available, what we're going to start doing is create lists and holding people accountable for their actions, and their actions will be what holds their feet to the fire. I mean, what makes us hold their feet to the fire. No more, oh, well, see, and this, that, and the third, and all this foolishness and nonsense, and oh man, we're going to be better. No, it's been 158 years since the emancipation, or the proposed emancipation. We were never slaves. I don't want to get into that. I do that every week. I'm not going to get into that. No more of that. We're not forgiving anything. We are a group of people who are fed up, and we're going to galvanize. And as we galvanize, we will construct a code of conduct. And once we construct a code of conduct and how to treat each other and how we need to be respected at all times, we will move forward and building this nation inside of a nation as we had prior to 1968, to be perfectly honest with you. They took Dr. King's dream, in my opinion, and turned it on us like a group of pit bulls. It is a serious situation. No more of this. What we're going to do is reestablish our businesses. We're going to enhance our education processes, and we will put ourselves in the best possible situation. That's it. That's all. Will we need government assistance? Hell yeah, we're going to need government assistance for this. Guess what? In a month, we'll be filing taxes. A lot of us have already filed taxes. A month in May, it'll be the deadline, and we're going to be waiting for our money to get back. Every time you go to the store, they take taxes. Every time it's taxes, property taxes, vehicle taxes when you purchase. There's always taxes. Those tax monies will go back into our school, to our schools, fixing our roads, after school programs and things of that nature. We are going to start back. This is what we're going to do. If you're a part of the group that I'm in, born between the years of 1958, 59, and 1979, that means more than likely you have adult children, and we are the future of that situation. So what we're gonna do, and my guest today is part of that solution, because not only do we need to heal financially, we need to heal from inside out. The only way we can heal from inside out is to listen to this brother that's coming up right now. He's on deck right now. Thank you for being a part of my show. He goes by the name of Supernova Sloan. Welcome to the program, my brother. Good to see you, man. How you?
Salute, brother. Peace. Yes, sir.
Peace.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Oh man, thank you for being on, man. Your time is valuable. You sharing it with me and the people who support me. Thank them as well as thanking you, man.
I share it. Yes, sir.
Peace. Now, what I would like you to do, because I think you'll do a better job of it than me. I've been promoting all week, but giving them your background. Please let them know who you are. Then we're gonna start healing our people, and moving forward in the United States of America as the best people possible.
My name is Supernova Slum. I'm author of the new book called Man Heal Thyself, The Wellness Warrior's Journey to Self-Mastery. Co-authored by my mother, Queen Afua, who is a 50-year veteran in holistic health and wellness for African people globally. And we have created a wonderful manual to help brothers activate holistic wellness, mind, body, and spirit. I'm also a best-selling author of a previous book called The Remedy. It's about detoxing and having a plant-based lifestyle. I'm a 44-year veteran of being plant-based. I was born and raised from my mother's womb being vegan, plant-based. And I'm also co-owner of a supplement company, plant-based company called Super Mega Foods with my brother and my cousin. We produce organic plant-based supplements for brothers detox to build, lean muscle mass through organic products. And we're here, I'm just here of echoing service. I also am a combat veteran. I served in a combat capacity in this country. I come from a long line of warriors who've done so. Both of my grandfathers, my father, we're all veterans. And I am also a known independent recording artist. So, I mean, just that's the the sum total. And I'm just here to continue to bridge and support my community and brothers, especially men for wellness. We look around at the algorithm, dear brother, there's a lot of sisters doing healing circles and healing work. And the question always comes up with my mother, who is the author of a best-selling book called Sacred Woman, The Guide to Healing the Feminine Body, Mind, and Spirit. It's a best-selling book for over 20 years, and a lot of sisters that graduate my mother's rites of passage always wanted to know what is available for brothers to come together and to heal and to do the inner work. So that's what the Spirit of the Man Heal Thyself book is about, that me and my mother co-authored. I also, with my cousin Hallelujah Walcott, we run a training in the Queen of Four Wellness Institute called Man Heal Thyself. So the book is a reflection of a twice a year online training we have for brothers, 12 weeks, giving brothers holistic remedies on how to detox their body. We do exercising together. We help brothers, regardless of their religious background, activate their spiritual rituals, you know what I'm saying, just to empower them. We're not dogmatic. We don't set trip if you have a different tradition. It's about brothers finding holistic ways to empower each other, keep each other accountable, and do the wellness work. Men are the leading cause in prostate dysfunction, heart attacks. And so, we call ourselves wellness warriors. It means that we are warriors calibrated to defend the harmony of our mind, body, and spirits. So that means making sure daily we're doing the daily rituals and disciplines to nourish our mind, body, and spirits. And that's the seed of what the book is about, what the ministry that I speak on is about, and what we teach and encourage our brothers through the rites of passage.
You know what? And that's exactly what I was watching you and your mom on the Breakfast Club. And I reached out to you. Man, you one reach out and you were on it. Man, thank you again. It's really appreciated. And that's exactly, your mom was attacking everything with women. And I'm a big dude, and I'm working on it now. A couple years ago, I was a vegetarian, and I'm on my way on the first. I'm going back.
Come on.
And I wanted to, it's a lot of brothers in my chat room. There's a lot of brothers listening in the background. And I just wanted to give them a leg up on better health, which will ease your mental. And that way, because my whole goal here, my name on my show is Build and Destroy, where I try to build up the community and destroy the lies and propaganda that's around our community.
That's
the
right.
only way we can do that is to start off with a healthy diet and put ourselves in the best possible situation so we can excel and prevail. How can a brother who, like me, I'm overweight, let's just use me. I'm at least 60 pounds overweight. I've never been a slim guy anyway, but how can a guy like me start? Even though I've already done it and then fell off, now I'm going back. How can you help the brothers who listen to me start at the beginning?
Well, the first start is actually plug the book, because this book is not a regular book. This is specifically a protocol of holistic health and wellness, right? So what I speak about in the Man Heal Thyself is that holistic health is not just what you put in your body. It's mind, body, and spirit. So the reason why a lot of people yo-yo with diet plans is that they have not created a full holistic matrix. What does that mean? That means you set up a self-accountability system to nourish yourself, mind, body, and spirit. So basically, let's give an example. water. We live on a water planet. Our body is 70% water, right? Now, some of us that are of knowledge of African traditions, we pour libation to our ancestors, right? So let's focus on that tenet. What if we continue to pour libation to ourselves in honor of our ancestors, right? So used to doing external things. So, okay, you can continue to pour out, but we're not doing enough pouring in. So the water is a metaphor. If you master the water, then you master the planet you live on. Your body's 30% water. Most people are sick because they're dehydrated. So they think that you're hungry when your body tells you're hungry. Really, your body's just telling you drink water. So if you can start by making sure from AM to PM you have a gallon of water in your body, and like the metaphor of libation, you put the intention, right? Like, so in libation, you pour to the ancestors, those who before you. You pour into yourself, saying, this water is dedicated to my health and wellness, my discipline, right? So taking the same energy we take outside of ourselves, applying in addition internally. Now what you did the spiritual salute to yourself, you did a mind salute, and then physically you drank the water. You hit all three chambers in that one gesture. You use the same metaphor to planning out your meal plans and having plant-based, non-processed foods. Create the same type of discipline. You'll notice if you hit every area of that holistic matrix, you're less likely to fall off because you're strengthening your mind is an extension of what you eat. What you eat is it has to be charged. We pray over our food, right? The whole point of praying your food, right, is to send it as it goes in, that it's protected, it's nourished. So you want to have foods that are nourished by God, nature, not over processed food. And then when you put the prayer charge on it, it's going in, charging your liver, it's charging your colon, charging your prostate, charging your ascending, descending colon, right? It's charging your liver, your kid, right? It's charging your cells. So now what you do again? You had the right food choice, mental. You put it in intention, mental. You did a prayer, spiritual, and physical, food. That's the cornerstone. Master that. That's what Man Heal Thyself was about. And so it's not about a diet. It's about taking your time and learning yourself on the journey. And each time, each step you take there, brother, you get better. So you say, okay, I fell off last week with my water. I had 3 days and I was hydrated. So then you make a note. How did you feel? Did you feel better? Did you feel more alert? Did you feel right? And then even if you fall off completely. Receive the fall. Don't no ego. We fall off. And now compare. When you were on them 72 hours of your discipline, did your spiritual work, be cognizant about what you put in your body, balance out your day. You did some probably physical movement, do a little run, little jog, right? Body, mind, spirit. If you hit those protocols, when you fall off, you go, wait a minute. How did I feel? Did I feel better? And then if you know you feel better, you take the data you learned when you fell off and you use that as a vengeance to go deeper into your commitment. And that's what the protocol of Man Heal Thyself is. We meet brothers where they are with no judgment, and we help to pour into them and give them various tools holistically to strengthen them on their journey.
Okay, even though I'm following that completely. As your mom spoke about, you spoke about on the Breakfast Club, the meat. Because I'm going to get a lot of pushback. I'm looking at one name particularly. He's my business partner. He'll give you a lot of pushback on the reduction of meat or the meat itself. How can we attack that?
Well, I mean the pushback. Listen. Let's talk about the meat. Most of the biggest animals on the planet are herbivores. There's only 30% that are meat eaters. 70% are herbivores. The biggest ones. So tell your friend in the chat. Talk about it. Talk to a giraffe, rhinoceros, a gorilla that eats nothing but herbs and greens, right? An elephant. Tell them to have a conversation with them. A bull from the family of cows that graze on alfalfa, dandelion, wheatgrass in their natural habitat. So tell him to first have a conversation with nature, right? Then men. Let's go to man. You don't have to have that because now you're going to the second. You're getting the amino acids from a second source. You can. Now, there are repercussions if you go there, right? So we on a meat-centered diet. So there are repercussions that, living a high-protein diet from a meat source, there are processing repercussions your body has to go through to even process that, right? But if the argument is you need it, well, I'm 44 years vegan. I weigh 195 pounds solid muscle. I don't eat no dairy, no animal byproducts, straight plant-based. So what's your argument? I don't have any health disparities. When I was in service in the military, I never cheated. I maintained my vegan lifestyle when I was deployed and statewide. What's the pushback? So I'm not here to say vegan versus meat eater. I'm here to say, there are ways. We have to make no excuses for our wellness. And for those that are in transition, I'm disciplined with my vegan vegetarian self, right? But I'm here to not make brothers and sisters who are not plant-based feel any way. I'm saying that let's look at the science would put the fuel you put in your body. If you have a luxury vehicle, you wouldn't put crude oil in it and expect it to run effectively. You have to put a certain amount of gas. So to really get the mileage out of your body and the quality of this life, you should have a better quality. And you learn when you hydrate it more and you eat more plant-based foods, you have more fuel, more energy. And if the meat, right, you're eating is, first of all, for meat eaters, has a low quality, you might as well have a better quality of the meat, right? For the meat eaters, I would say you can start by having meats that are grass-fed, that are less hormonally, injected with steroids and synthetics. You can start there. Now, ultimately, I would like you to be plant-based, but I would meet you where you're at, and you can start there. Maybe dial back on the red meats. Maybe start with the fishes and the non-fried chickens, you know what I'm saying, as a garnish, not as a main appetite, but as a garnish, and make you have some wild rice, some sprouted brown rice as a carbohydrate. You can have a lot of lustrous greens, you know what I'm saying, fibers, and you can start there. Start smaller portions of of that, and find various abundant ways to have other amino acids, the plant proteins in your diet. In addition to that, I have in my company, Super Mega Foods, we produce plant-based foods to get you to your micronutrients fuel. So if your concern is weight based upon having plant proteins as an alternative to meat proteins, try our micronutrients, the Super Mega Greens, which are a combination of the perry grasses, alfalfa, dandelion, barley, wheatgrass, ginger for circulation, sea greens, which is the chlorella and the spirulina. All of those work in tandem for your colon to good health, strengthening your prostate. Your bloodstream is cleansed because you're getting fresh oxygen going from your blood, from your brain to your blood, right? And you're making sure you get your amino acids. You can have that 3 times a day. We also, if you're trying to gain, so you can have lean muscle and detox on the greens. If you're trying to maintain muscle mass, try our Super Mega Protein. We have sprouted brown rice. We have sprouted brown rice. We have pumpkin protein in there. We have maca root, which is good for the libido and prostate health. We have moringa powder, right? So there's so many alternatives you can take, and you just have to know that you're valuable. One thing we talk about, man, heal thyself, is men honoring their value. See, when you recognize, as I say, it starts with the mind. What is your self-talk? Before you take any greens, change your diet, what is your self-talk? Do you value yourself? Are you worthy to pour into you? See, now when you do that, the greens, the water, the food choices become a metaphor about how you feel about yourself. So first, we got to get brothers empowered mentally. And then whatever their spiritual worship or lifestyle is, we have to merge that with how he views himself. And then let his spirituality and his self-value and self-talk, let the food choices be a metaphor for the internal libation. And then you will note brothers will make more valuable situations, because now the foods become the relationships you keep. Your sisters, your brothers, your friends, your intimate partners, right? High value, holistic wellness is what we're signaling for men, right? So first we must pour in and clear out some of the destructive things that we've been taught, or the things that we've been ignoring, right? We have to now focus on pouring into our brothers, and brothers to pour into themselves, create a 7-day disciplined schedule. And you observe yourself. Some days you be stronger, some days you may fall off. And this is why me and my mother laid it out in Man Heal Thyself. We laid it out step by step. Brothers can have small groups. If you're not ready to join our online training, we laid it out real basically, what you can do week to week, what type of herbs you can use, what type of discipline, even exercise protocol, and to encourage you to begin to pour into yourself.
That's awesome, man. Because my significant other tells me that, you need to eat more times a day, right? how does that work into your program?
Well, it depends what you're eating. So if you're gonna eat more times a day, what are you eating? It's the what. What's the fuel and what's the quality of what you're eating? Most humans are walking around, men and women, with 30 to 40 pounds of impacted waste on their colon. This is why brothers have prostate issues and women have fibroid tumors. So what are you carrying? Why are you eating? All you need on a plate is a protein source, and you can get it, like I said, if you're gonna have the meat, you want to get a grass-fed, and the goal is to have alternatives, because you want to have that type of compassion for other life forms. But if you're still in that situation, plant protein or protein source, a fat source, a carbohydrate source, and a fiber source. That's a full balanced meal. So if your plate doesn't reflect holistically that, then you're wasting time and you're clogging up the opportunity to your life for your body to function at a high level. So it's about what you are eating. Right? If I wanted to have a plant-based meal, I'll take quinoa. Quinoa is a carbohydrate and a protein source. It's a grain that's a protein and it's carbohydrates. I'll add spinach that's also a protein and a fiber and iron, right? And I could put some cold pressed olive oil on that. That's my fats. Add maybe some sunflower seeds and some avocado. That's additional fats. I hit every model right there in that one bowl. Protein, carb, fat, fiber. What's the excuse? That's all your body needs. And if I'm having a gallon of water a day, my skin is glowing, illustrious, my colon's moving, my prostate's moving. It's real simple. But if you have a hard time, go to Amazon, get Man Heal Thyself, and take yourself through the protocol.
Well, I'm on that as soon as the show's over, because I heard you mention it, but you guys plugged your mom's book. So I was waiting, I knew when you came on, you would plug yours. And so where, we know what to do now. Listen to you, we know what to do now. Where do we start?
Well, the first start is to get the document.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if I'm saying to you, hey, I have put together a master document to lay out a step-by-step protocol. Well, the first thing you would do is purchase the protocol, right? And take yourself through the steps. And the way we laid it out so you can design something unique for you. So it's not about mastering Supernova's protocol. It's allowing Supernova Islam to encourage you to open your mind and consciousness so you can create a protocol that's good for you and use the Man Heal Thyself steps holistically, right? So re-envisioning what your 7-day master plan looks like. Just 7, not 21 days, not 6 months, beach body, but how can you master the next days with actually taking bad habits, or bad habits have not served you. Let me not say bad. Habits have not been of service to you, and switching them out to holistic protocols or healthier choices mentally, emotionally, spiritually, right? And using all of these functions to serve you holistically, right? So it's not just about losing weight in a diet. Again, I'm libating internally. The water I'm taking is protected by my spiritual prayer, right? So just how I praise the Most High in whatever system of religion or spiritual order I'm in, I use that metaphor inside myself. So now I'm taking the water and I'm libating myself. I know that I live on a water planet. I'm honoring the planet I live on. My body is 70% water. I'm honoring myself. Like Dick Gregory said, rest in peace to the elder. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. That's the first step. Getting the water intake. That changes your mood. Your immune system is functioning at a high level. Now you can think clearer. And if you think clearer, you can make healthier choices. It's about valuing yourself, dear brother. And do not let nothing into your space that is not going to build on that value. Relationships, how you feel about yourself, food choices, and how you move. It should be a reflection to encourage you to have an optimum, prosperous life. Rest in peace, DMX.
Rest in peace, DMX, most definitely. With the Dick Gregory thing, I remember Dick Gregory said how he started was a brisk walk every day. If you are in poor conditioning, how would you instruct someone to do that?
Do what you just said. Dick Gregory.
No, but He said a brisk walk.
So
remember, the reason I'm asking this, what I'm doing is taking you through my previous journey. Because, hey, brother, I wish I could. I'm going to send on the email, I'm going to send you a picture of how big I was. I was big enough to take both these screens at one point.
Okay.
How would I start? Because I started an extremely generic way. I wouldn't advise it for anybody. I was so heavy that I would have to take Advil to walk because it hurt my back. So how would you instruct someone? All I'm doing is, in this conversation, I got some friends who are heavy as well, and I want them, friends and family members, and I want them to take my walk, my journey, and I'm really asking you from HRap from 2010, and I want you to walk them through it so they'll know what to do.
It's real simple things. Like I said, hydration is very important. So you have to get the water, because the water is going to be your energy. That's your life. Master the water. From AM to PM, you should have a gallon of water in your body. Okay, 5 liters. Just every hour, have another liter. That's it. From AM to PM. So if you get up at 7 o'clock, from 7 to 7, you should be having it throughout the day. It'll be so clockwork, you won't even have to be thinking, oh, a gallon is a lot. It's actually not a lot, because through sweating, through urination, your body's detoxing, and your body's meant to move. This is our lens. We're meant to move. So big, small, and middle size, make a commitment at least 30 minutes every day to do some type of walk and repetition. Clock it. For 45 minutes. Start there, right? And I'm not even gonna get into resistance training and strength training, but just for those that just need the first step, hydration and move your limbs. 3 times a week, 3 times every 7 days, you should make it at minimum, make a commitment to 30 to 40-minute walk. Speed walk, minimum walk, light jog, just light. Get your body active. Do that for 21 days, every 7 days for 3 times a day. I mean, 3 days a week, 21 days, and you're hydrating daily, you already shifted your life. Because you're mastering movement and you have now hydrated. So you're going to see a result. Now, in addition, you're going to start making healthier choices. Now you're going to realize, yeah, there are foods that you may like, but you have to make the valuable choices and look at it as fuel. Is this going to fuel me, allow me to create the best work? Work is movement in the world. Will I be able to be sluggish by eating this, or it's going to make me feel vibrant and exciting? Start there. Find best foods that make you do that. Now, processed sugars cut the oxygen flow from the blood to the brain. So you're going to get the itis and feel sleepy. So you will go to my website, www.supermegafoods.com, SUPA, mega, MGA, foods.com, and you will purchase something called the Super Mega Greens. You can add a scoop of the greens in your water and or fruit juice 3 times a day minimum, and your body will detox and also build at the same time. It will restore the oxygen through the micronutrients back into the bloodstream that the sugar has stripped from the blood. And that's why the chlorophyll foods or plant-based foods is very important. And then, like I said, you start to cut out slowly processed foods and fried foods. And for those that are in transition eating the meats, cut the red meat out, stop the fried, right? And maybe have baked fish and baked chicken, but make that be a garnish and have a plethora, abundance of greens, right? Start there. If you get the Man Heal Thyself text, we lay out meal plans that you can incorporate in transition or your full-blown plant-based, just to encourage you along. Remember, the wellness is all about you creating your journey. It's using people like myself as a minister of wellness to be an encourager of you. I'm not dogmatic. You don't have to join my program. It's really about wellness. I'm just here to encourage you to do more. So if you're following a certain type of wellness program and protocol, I'm just here to motivate you to continue to do that. Get back on, master it, find ways to make it work for you even better. And that's the start. If you keep it real simple, brother, move, better food choices, hydrate, right? Set your daily intention, work on your emotional body, start forgiving yourself for making wrong decisions in the past. Use each day as a new opportunity to reorbit your process again. All of that creates an environment in your body, mind, and spirit for productivity. Again, we're not pushing diet. We're not pushing religion. We're pushing holistic wellness. So you can come as you are. Let's just go deeper into the commitment to our commitment.
Indeed. Now, and with that, you speak about the spiritual. and you spoke about groups. How would a group function in that situation? Because would they be support, or would they be just motivation?
I mean, what group? I mean, I don't
like when you saying maybe sometimes you should get in the group, and I was thinking maybe 4 or 5 guys at a time. Like you was like, you don't have to join my program. Maybe you should get in.
If you're not ready. I mean, you know, we have 60 brothers going through the training right now.
Okay.
So these are brothers that are committed. So you know, if you're wise, you would join. But it's Romans closed. But if you're wise, you would get with brothers that are doing the work, because that accountability allows you to do your work. Now, what you do, you start where you are. I'm saying is get the book, definitely, because that's the teaching tool, right? Start where you are and begin to get a disciplined daily regimen. If there are other brothers or young people around you that want to join you in that, you create an accountability. But again, we lay out what we share with the larger group of brothers. We lay out the same protocol in the book. So if you just follow along, you can get a small group of brothers together and get the herbs, you know, listen to some of the affirmations that we share, and find a way to do some of the spiritual work with whatever deity you represent, right? And just create a whole universal day.
That's what I meant.
And use the system that we lay out with the brothers around you to hold each other accountable to get the goals. And, you know, so once you get that going, and later on down the year, you know, we do it every spring and every fall. If you have the time to join our training online, now you're joining what we call the fraternity of wellness, a brotherhood that is calibrated specifically on health and wellness. There's a lot of fraternities out there, but there's really none like us specifically calibrated for man to be exalted back to his Godhead through health and wellness, regardless of his religious background, his ethnic background, or his financial background. We want men on the planet to be well.
Exactly. And that was the reason I brought you on. Because again, man, you see a lot of things out here who are helping the sisters. And I don't have a problem with that, because, you know, they have a foundation. But I also need people like yourself to educate the brothers, because without, you know, you need both. You need the balance. You need the balance of man and woman. What I want to do is, how would you start a day? Like, excuse me, scratch that. I meant to say, that's the second question. The first question is it a time that we should stop eating? Is it a time that we should cut things off? Because what I've noticed is I used to be extremely active. Former athlete, extremely active. And at that point, I could burn off anything. You know, I can eat, and I would make it dissipate by my activity.
Right.
Now, as I'm old, I'm 50 years old, I know I can only eat so far. What would be the optimal time to tell a man to stop eating?
Okay. Well, the body works on a natural clock of productivity. So as far as solid meals, everything you eat as a solid meal has to become a liquid in the body. That's why you need whole meals, because if you just focus on carbs and protein, you're going to be constipated. Plus, you're not drinking water, right? Why you deal with these issues. And so the body works optimally from 12 p.m., with no matter what time zone, till about 4 to 6. It starts to get down. So you want your heaviest meal, if you're going to eat it, between 12 and 4. 5 may get more lighter. You know, maybe more, you move away from the high carbs and the physical protein, more into maybe the whole grains, right? If you're drinking your water, you find your body's gonna not eat much, because with your 70% water, it craves itself. This is why fruits and vegetables are important, because they contain water, right? So you won't find yourself overeating. Now, when you have the mega greens, like, you know, the concentrated plant proteins that we produce, those micronutrients feed the cells. So even if you just eat 1 meal a day, if you're hydrating with the greens, your cells are being fed, so you won't overeat. You shred the fat, and you won't overeat, and your body will still be nourished. So
everything falls in line. I mean, everything that you're saying falls definitely in line.
And if you have the micronutrients 3 times a day, in the morning when you wake up, midday, and towards the evening, you find, like, let's say after 6 o'clock, you start cutting down a heavy meal, and you just have, you know, at least 16 to 32 ounces of the micronutrients. It's water and it's the greens. Your body's gonna be fed.
That's awesome.
You won't eat past that, because you won't be able to. Your body won't signal that. It's created, and the greens allow the cells to be sustained where it feels like it's fed. so you won't feel the cravings. And because now you have more oxygen in the bloodstream, it's breaking down the concentration of the salts and the sugars that are in the processed foods. So now the cravings shift and change, right?
How long do you think that would take?
Well, I mean, if you let's say example the micronutrients, the mega greens. If you're taking it 3 times a day for 7 days, you're gonna see the ship immediately. It's an immediate because they micronutrients. Immediate. If you just making sure, like let's say if you get a gallon of water and you take a scoop of the mega greens, 1 or 2 scoops, and you put it in the water. Again, that's the dandelion, alfalfa, barley, wheatgrass, chlorella, and spirulina. All of those micronutrients from the land, what they call the perry grasses, in the sea, right? These are what the animals are grazing on in the grass. That's why they're big. This is what the animals in the sea are grazing on, right? So you're taking the best of the sea, what God created in the sea and the land, and you're taking that for your body. Immediately, the matrix of how your body internally is functioning shifts because now you have a concentrated blend of micronutrients. Sure, there are other green products out there, but most of them are filler products. Because any product you see out there with 8 to 12 to 13 to 15 to 30 ingredients, that means the concentration now has been compromised. This blend is specifically the greens. So you're getting a concentrated blend and dose to your bloodstream. It's going right to the cells. So if you take that 3 times a day for 7 days and you're hydrating and you're doing your movement we mentioned earlier, immediate shift. And if it works for you, tweak it to your what works for you and your discipline and do another 7 days. That works, do another 7 days. If you fall off, like I said, don't be hard on yourself. Do a hard observation. You fell off. What was the trigger? What was probably something happening going on in your mind or your emotional body that allowed you to be in this space? What made you kind of go back to the foods? You notice that every time you have a trigger, if you're honest, there's always some foods that you eat to nourish you through that. The nourishment is probably a false nourishment because it's probably not processing through your body at a true optimum level or alkaline level. But there's certain things that people eat, sweets or salts, to nourish them when they get a negative call or have a negative experience, where they say comfort food. So you got to check that. That's why I say it's also not only what you nourish your body with physically, it's also an emotional healing. You got to check and go through. It's a mental reinforcement. It's a spiritual. It's all about holistic wellness. If it's just about losing weight, then you're gonna find your life yo-yoing through life. You'll lose the weight, then get back. Lose the weight, get back, right? Because you have not addressed the other areas that may need to be addressed. The other triggers that may need to be transformed. And this is what we enforce in the Man Heal Thyself book. And we lay out for brothers to get them encouraged. Like I said, there are a lot of books out here speaking to men, but this book specifically is speaking to the whole area of how to take immediate action and transform your life.
I just got a message from a listener. He sent me a picture of this Adrian's 2-day detox. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
It looks like it's a fruit juice 2-day detox, lose weight regimen. Okay.
I mean, right. That's cool. Fruits can definitely do that. I mean, the certain rider fruits are good for the colon health. So it makes sense. The fruits have water, so you're going to shred. But if you want to go deeper, you need to get into the micronutrients. If you're trying to really flush.
He's listening, so he heard you.
Lose weight. It's a whole thing because you also need to feed. So you need a regimen that's not only going to have you dispel the weight, but it's going to build at the same time. You need the micronutrients like the mega greens because not only are you detoxing, but you're building. That's key. Because you can lose the weight, but if you're not building nourishing wise, your body's going to be locked in the cravings. So you need to detox the impurities, and then you need to be building so your body can be nourished.
Almost removing the toxins like a drug program.
Absolutely, but again, the key is flushing and building. That's exactly. You flush, you build. A lot of detox programs get you to detox, but then you're still nutrient deficient. You want to get the concentrated plant proteins because now you're getting the nutrients and you're detoxing.
Okay, one more, a couple more questions. You mentioned I could use the detox powder in my traditional water. Would that compromise the gallon of water, or is that just fine?
No, Absolutely not. You could,
Okay.
that could be that, because see, all the greens are going to be doing is charging that water. Right?
Okay.
That's it. So the whole point is to make that liquid be the majority in your flow, because you are mostly liquid. You have, why not honor our flow?
Exactly.
Right? Because some people, maybe more, because you're an athlete, you can get right with your water and get with it. So you have a different muscle memory with that. And other people may, they want the flavor. So I say some people want to put the lime or the lemon in the water. Whatever you got to do to get that gallon in, start, right? But your body needs that water. So you can charge the water, with ginger powder, the greens, the lime, the lemon. You could charge the water up, but get your water. Like, master that, because again, it's gonna immediate shift. And when you start to shift, you start to value yourself. And that's what you use to be to create accountability with yourself. You know what I'm saying? And start making valuable decisions.
With that being said, you mentioned a second ago also about the comfort foods. Would you recommend anything like me? I used to be a potato chip fanatic, and I could identify with you saying, hey, you'll eat this when you're having a bad day. Let me get a bag of chips. Pop, pop, pop. Next thing you know, you almost 400 pounds. Is there anything that you would recommend to supplement that, like avocado, strawberries, and things, watermelon?
Everything you say.
Oh, okay.
Right. And then also, you have to look at your salads as a way to explore. People just think lettuce, tomatoes, and carrot, iceberg lettuce, tomatoes, and carrots. That's not a salad. That's one of a minor aspect. There are a lot of crunchy, fulfilling vegetables that are also carbohydrates. Like a broccoli is a carbohydrate. Well, some people don't want to do broccoli. Okay, cool. You have green cabbage, and you have also purple cabbage, right? You have red peppers, green peppers, orange peppers, yellow peppers. All of those are much, and then also cauliflower. You can chop all of those up if you want the crunch. People nerves. It's a nervous system thing. We alternative. So you can have all of those more crunchier vegetables, and if you're gonna have a green, if you don't want to do the iceberg, get spinach. Which is high in iron, right, and protein. But the highest in protein would be, in addition to the spinach, would be the kale, right? But you can have none of those and just have what I just said. The cauliflower, the purple cabbage, and the peppers. You put some cold pressed olive oil or some coconut oil on that. That sit for about 5 to 10 minutes, and the oils will naturally cook it and flavor it. And you put sea salt on it, or Himalayan pink sea salt, or whatever works for you. Add your avocado as a natural fat. You're gonna feel filled. You won't even eat the whole thing, right? So it's about the choice you make that the body has to process. Remember, everything that you eat has to become a liquid. So the more you have the fibrous foods in your colon, you're hitting all areas. You're hitting all areas internally: your large intestine, your small intestines, your prostate. Your all the nourishing that your body needs is in the fruits and vegetables. But if you want more fulfilling ones. Example for when the summer's getting hotter, you have the watermelon, the honeydews, and the cantaloupes. You eat those together. Don't mix those, because those are the superior water fruits, right? The other ones have different acids. So the vitamin C fruits, which would be the strawberries, right? Vitamin C, like they all have, orange is the concentrated vitamin C, but strawberries have vitamin C too, cherries. You wouldn't, in the way the acids are in it, you wouldn't mix that with the watermelon, because the watermelon is so dense with water, it's going to give you indigestion. So you got to know when to mix stuff. So you get the watery fruits work together. The more citrusy fruits, the mangoes and the mangoes, the berries, you can eat those together, because they process in the body in a complementary way, right? So just all understanding how to do the combinations also, so you can get to your goal.
Man, this has been awesome, man, because I've been a lot of responses, and I want to thank you. Please plug your book. Please plug your information.
Yes.
And I'll be in contact with you.
Well, brother, I would love for you to get the book so you can start to take yourself through it, and we can talk about it next show. But it's called Man Heal Thyself: The Wellness Warrior's Journey to Self-Mastery. Okay, so we want our brothers to be wellness warriors, right? Warriors of defending their health and wellness for optimum living. We want brothers to begin to put themselves first so that they can be a better service to their loved ones in their work in the world. Man always sacrifices to put everybody before him, and internally he's in deficiency. So we teach our brothers to put yourself first so you can continue high service for everybody in your life. Stop putting everybody first and leaving you last. Put you first so you can be stronger of a service man for your woman, children in the world. If you just keep putting everybody before you, and now you got a heart attack. You know what I'm saying? Now you deficient. Now you out of whack. And then you still got to show up because people expect you to, right? So if you begin to put yourself first, brother, and heal yourself, right? Now when you continue to show up for your loved ones in your work in the world, you're moving at an optimum level. And this is why we have to have brothers being wellness warriors. Okay.
I got one more. Hold on. You sparked another question. Or actually, to inform the brothers, because it's a lot of, I know some people out there that's probably saying, but how can I put myself first and people are depending on me? Help them with that.
Well, again, they're depending on you. You're breaking down. So what happens if you keep anybody first and you end up in the hospital? Now who's gonna come check on you? Bills gotta get paid. Still got, right? So your life depends on you nourishing you, dear brother.
Yes.
You can't do nothing to nobody if you're broken down. You can't do nothing for nobody. Your woman, your children, your work in the world. You have to put you first. That's why you have to be a warrior. See, if you just a diet or someone on a diet, then you got no responsibility. This is about a goddamn diet. But if you're a warrior, you say I'm a defender of what? The quality of my life, body, mind, and spirit. I will not make excuses. That's the first line of defense. The excuses. That's what creeps in. So you got to say, I'm making a commitment to my commitment. And this is why this is the most important book you can be getting right now on Amazon right now to give you instruction that speaks to your value. Ain't no book speaking to the black man's value. None.
Preach.
None. Right now. Speaking to, no, put you first, man. Black men and all men. Because we want our men to be alpha masculine service of their Godhead. Not beating down our woman and beating down ourselves. No. Put you first so you can be a superior man of yourself. And you can show up to your women, your children, and your work in the world. That's what Man Heal Thyself is about. And that's what we're pouring into our brothers with that daily power.
Man, I totally appreciate you. And please come back. Man, you got an open seat at the table. Anytime. I mean, you come back every week. I'm fired up, man. I promise you. I will send you a picture of me with your book in my hand. I promise.
Listen, let me read the dedication. So let me tell you who this book is dedicated to. Man Heal Thyself, available on Amazon right now. Dedication. We offer this document to men who are each on a quest to heal thyself. Men who are in pain, in need of healing. We dedicate Man Heal Thyself, Wellness Warriors to you. Men who have been abused and so have become abusers. As he searches for change and transformation, we dedicate Man Heal Thyself, Wellness Warriors to you. Men who are starving for peace of mind, wholeness, fulfillment, and encouragement, we dedicate Man Heal Thyself, Wellness Warriors to you. Men who have broken hearts, smashed limbs, shattered dreams, worn souls, we dedicate Man Heal Thyself, Wellness Warriors to you. Young men who are up and coming in the new generation, we dedicate Man Heal Thyself, Wellness Warriors to you. May you walk and walk strong throughout your journey of self-mastery. Men who have been fulfilled with strength and refuge and healing, we dedicate Man Heal Thyself to you. Keep on keeping on. Men who have lost their way in life's mazes, who especially dedicate this book to you. Men who are incarcerated, who have especially dedicate this book to you. Men who are financially well in a state of abundance, we dedicate Man Heal Thyself to you. And to the millions of men in the United States and globally who are uninsured, unprotected, uncared for, unloved, and left for dead, we dedicate Man Heal Thyself, Wellness Warriors to you. May you gain support, momentum, strength, in your pursuit of life and wellness. Finally, we dedicate Men Heal Thyself Wellness Warriors to the mothers, grandmothers, wives, sisters, and lovers who stand and wait and pray as their men travel on the journey to heal themselves. Man Heal Thyself, the Wellness Warriors Journey to Self-Mastery. Wellness Warrior salute.
Man, thank you. Man, Ashe.
Ashe.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. I will definitely be in contact with you. Thank you for sharing. Again, I promise you, on my soul, you will see a picture with that book in my hand within the next 3 to 5 days. I'm going to start my Black History segment. I'll reach out to you afterwards. Thank you again, man. What I do every week is show, you may even want to watch this, show a Black History video. It's about 6 to 7 minutes long. Nice. I want to empower our community, man. It is my life's goal. I used to do a sports show. I was dedicated to sports. And then one day I asked my co-host a question. I was like, if you think this is racist and holding us back, why are you watching? And then I was like, hell, I'm doing a show. So you speaking to the son of 2 Black Panthers.
Come on, Uhuru.
You speaking to the 6th cousin of Nat Turner.
Come on, wow, let's go, brother.
You speaking to a dude who was raised with nothing but women around him. I got uncles. One of my uncles is listening. I got uncles. I got dope uncles, but my aunts and my grandmothers and my sisters. My sister, who in the chat room, taught me how to read, brother. So my goal is to get our people, as you heard as you were coming on. It's cool to argue and fuss and fight with these corporations and things of that nature. But that's why, man, when I saw you and your mom, that's why I wanted you to come on so I can inspire my brothers that support me. And that way, if we're going to create a community to make sure you, our kids, grandkids, neighbors, cousins, nephews, nieces to be better, we got to start with this and start with your mom's book and put everybody in a position to live a long and prosperous life. Healthy, wealthy, wise. Healthy is this. With our health, we'll get wealth, and then wisdom comes along with health as well. So if you want, you can continue to look, check out the video, and then I will definitely be in contact with you. And I promise you, as soon as Amazon can get Amazon Prime to get it to me, you'll have a picture with that book in my hand.
Well, wellness salute to you, dear brother. May the ancestors continue to charge and protect you on your deployment here on Earth. And wellness warrior salute to all your family and everybody in your audience. I appreciate you. The mothers, the fathers, the uncles, the aunties, the grandmothers, the grandfathers, the brothers and sisters. Wellness warrior salute.
I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. Welcome to the Black Excellence and Abundance Channel.
Black Native Americans have been all but ignored in this country. We have been written out of the history books, and it is as if we never existed in the first place. The truth is, this country was filled with many all-black so-called Indian Native American tribes. This country was filled with so-called black Indians, true Native Americans. One area of note is California. The true history of California blacks is a powerful story, one that should be studied and remembered. I urge you to please do your research, and you will be surprised by the majestic history of our people here in this country.
There were California blacks, or Califians, also referred to as Califians, spelt with a KH. The California blacks were one of the largest and oldest native nations in the Americas. They were the people Europeans originally referred to as the red man.
One account of what it was really like in California comes from the writing of historian Robert Beverly from the 1700s. He writes, "Far and away the most beautiful city on earth, 5 times the size of London or Rome, great towers and buildings rising from the water, 60,000 gleaming houses, how spacious and well built they were, of beautiful stonework and cedar wood and wood of other sweet scented trees. Many streets and boulevards were so neat and well swept despite the multitude of inhabitants, crisscrossed with a complete network of channels like an enormous Venice, but also remarkable floating gardens that remain from nowhere else on earth." So you see, Black Native Americans not only lived here, but we thrived here. And we thrived for thousands of years before Columbus. As a matter of fact, blacks were in this country even before the birth of the Savior, before Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach.
California Native American identity. The original indigenous inhabitants of California were the descendants of West Africa, South America's Olmeca Zai Empire, 1500 to 400 BCE, Egypt, Asia, and the Pacific Islands, creating a mixed cultural nation that thrived for thousands of years in peace.
The following is what an exhibition of European explorers actually found upon their arrival in North America. There were huge aqueducts transported America's water from fresh springs. But what impressed most were special merchant areas filled with timber and tile and other building materials being bought and sold. There were green grocers, streets where everyone could buy every sort of vegetable, fruit, honey, and chocolates. Astonished by personal cleanliness and hygiene of the colorfully dressed people and by their extravagant use of soaps, deodorant, and breath sweeteners. According to Beverly, there were nations that were scientifically advanced. They were highly civilized populations with an abundance of gold and wealth, whose history spanned thousands of years. Ancient America was notably one of the most advanced civilizations in antiquity. This was before Christ, before the Spaniards, before Mexicans, before the Clovis people who crossed the Bering Straits, before what is now known as the Native American Indian or Euro conversions. No European who had tasted the life of Indians can afterwards not bear to live in any other society. Benjamin Franklin. Franklin also wrote, "There is no force in Indian societies, no prisons, no officers to inflict punishment." Benjamin Franklin. You see, we weren't all brought on ships called Jesus, Liberty, Grace, Justice, or Mercy. Our ancestors were already here, natives to this land, long before Columbus.
Gigantic stone heads in central Mexico. The Olmec civilization was the first significant civilization in Mesoamerica deemed mother culture of Mexico by some historians. This civilization, dominated by Africans, is best known for the colossal carved heads in central Mexico that served as even more evidence that Africans sailed to the New World before Columbus. The heads are clearly crafted in the likeness of Africans. The same civilization that created these giant heads was also responsible for introducing written language, arts, sophisticated astronomy, and mathematics to a Mesoamerican civilization, ancient African historian Professor Ivan van Sertima explained.
We do want to point out that there is evidence of other races in the Americas prior to the arrival of Columbus. There were Asians, Pacific Islanders, and there's even evidence of Europeans before Columbus. But the landscape was definitely dominated by the black people, the black Native Americans. Many black people in this country have been told that we have so-called Indian blood. I know that I have, and many, many others have the same experience. Well, chances are it's the truth. When you look at the characteristics that many of us have with the high cheekbones, etc., there's a good possibility that more than we know that we are Native Americans. While we know that many of our ancestors did come in on slave ships, however, we know that there is proof that millions upon millions of our ancestors were here before Columbus, before the transatlantic slave trade. So yes, folks, there is overwhelming evidence that suggests that the first Americans were actually black people. There is archaeological evidence, there's written evidence, and there's oral evidence, which proves that black people are the first Americans. The Black Excellence and Abundance Channel, where black history is every day.
Thanks for watching. As always, please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And remember, thou art rich.
With that being said, I want to introduce another guest that I have today. As I told y'all before, what I'm going to do is promote any and everybody that I can find. If you have anything to promote, reach out to me. If you have a restaurant, if you're doing something, I don't give a damn what it is. Excuse my language. I don't care what it is. It's about empowering us every chance I get. And with that being said, I want to introduce you to my latest guest. What's happening, brother? How you doing?
Hey, what's going on with you, man?
Man, introduce the people. Let them know who you are, and we can get this show on the road.
Cool. I'm Chef Urel. I'm a personal private chef out here in the Portland, Vancouver, Washington area. Originally from Chicago, as you can see the hat right there. But yeah, I'm out here on this Pacific Northwest cooking up some food, man.
Man, it's good to meet you. Good to see you. How you doing today, first and foremost, man? How you doing?
Man, you know, I'm doing good. This is like a first day off for me in quite a few days. So
okay.
I'm enjoying it a little bit, even though I'm finna cook afterwards. So
how did you get into being a personal chef?
You know what? I think I did like a dinner party for a group of ladies, and they talked about the food so much that my social media presence kind of grew. And I've had people in my DM about cooking stuff, and you know, I've been cooking and posting stuff, and it just grew from there, man.
Man, let people know how, like, okay, cooking is obviously a passion. Let people know how, no matter what happens, if you do what you want to do, you are going to be okay. You know, you will be in a position that you're in presently.
You know what? You're absolutely right. If you got like a passion for it, a love for it, and you put your all into it, you don't even know the level of success you can have. So for me, I actually worked an office job, and then I was cooking like after hours. So my requests for food and projects grew so much, I was actually able to leave my office job, and this is what I do full time. And man, my clients just appreciate me, and I appreciate them, and it's all about the food for me.
So at this point, you're a personal chef for one family?
I know for many families, but I have.
Oh, okay. Help us understand. Help me understand.
I have a couple clients where I'll go into their home and I'll make them lunch and dinner, maybe 3 to 4 days a week. Outside of that, I'm doing some plates. I'll do like date night dinners when I have the free time. But I do have a couple clients that I go in and I cook for them a few days a week. And yes, I'm working for myself, taxes, all of that.
Man, how do you start that? How did you start that empire? Because I'm gonna call it an empire because that's what it's gonna grow.
I appreciate that. And really, I went to LegalZoom and I did a LLC.
Mm-hmm.
I found a local registered agent, that gets all my legal mail if there's any issue. I got a EIN from the IRS that's free. Opened up a business bank account with Wells Fargo that's free. And I would say for less than $500, I was able to get fully legit with my personal chef business.
Man, that's awesome. Did you go to culinary school, or are these just your skills from life?
So actually, I attempted to go to culinary school last March, like right before COVID really hit. I went to a culinary school, but 2 weeks into it, they shut down completely. And so they started going to this like virtual culinary thing, which I wasn't with. So then after a month or so, the school officially went out of business.
Wow.
So luckily I had my own certifications already. School was just, something for me to learn a little something that I didn't know.
Okay.
So, but I had been cooking way before that, and culinary school works for some people, not for others, but you can still be successful if you have a passion for it.
What other certifications do you need?
I have a Serve Safe manager certification, and that pretty much certifies me to cook all over the country, and it proves that I'm safe when I'm doing it. So whether it's in a normal kitchen, a commercial kitchen, a restaurant, I'm certified to cook everywhere.
Okay, what avenues did you take to even get to know those things? Because a lot of things we'll jump out and, hey man, I'm gonna do this, and we don't even know that you need those. Like, I never even heard of a safe certification, So how did you get that information?
It's actually something that was in the curriculum for the culinary school. And after that ended, I kind of researched how I can do it on my own. And it is something that if you want to cook for other people outside of your home, that you have to have. And so I think the class was it wasn't very long at all. I think I studied the material and took the test all in a couple of hours. And it's like common sense, some stuff is, but the restaurant type stuff, you really have to make sure that you're on top of it.
You know what? I used to work at a McDonald's years ago, and they called it a sanitation license, so I'm familiar. Yeah. Because they made a big deal of it. We had to go take a test for a whole day.
Yeah.
They could have put us there for 20 minutes, like you said. All right, give me the test. It's
right. Yeah.
It was like the driver's manual. Hey man, what's your specialty, man?
Man. I would have to say it's funny. The most requested thing I get is shrimp and grits, and what's funny about that is I'm allergic to shellfish, so I can't eat it. But I enjoy cooking seafood, man.
Okay. What's your love of the seafood? Cause hey, I get too close, I get a little nauseous. But I can sit across from somebody eating it. But
okay, so I think for me it's like a mental clock in my head. So I know exactly how long it's supposed to cook. I know when to flip it. I know what the proper sear on it's supposed to look like. So if it's shrimp or scallops or crab or lobster, it's just something up here that's like, all right, season it with this, flip it, give it another couple seconds, and then take it off and combine it with whatever it is you put it with. So I wish I knew where it came from. It's just in my head now.
Hey man, it's this thing I promote all the time on my show, epigenetics. And epigenetics is basically whatever your ancestors had, good, bad, or indifferent, they pass it along to you. Probably your grandmother, your grandfather, they put you in play, man, because that's what a lot of us do. We have this innate ability to do things that we don't realize, and all it is our ancestors said, he's the one, or like you got people who could wake up in the morning. Your grandmother was the greatest singer in the world. All you know is she was your grandmother. And next thing you know, you blowing it. And that's probably what it is with you, man. Do you have any aspirations of one day packaging food and putting it out, like in stores and things of that nature?
Man, you know what? I haven't gotten there with it yet. I think maybe my biggest thing is being able to show my daughter and my family that I can move around and travel and cook at the same time and just do something I love all the time.
And you know what? You inspiring people, man, because one of the things I do on this show is I try my all time best just to inspire my friends, people, you know, my brother D Great, me and him talk all the time, my brother DJ Mad Knox, we talk all the time, and I try to push people. And when I talk to you, that's why I wanted you on here, man, because you said you do your thing, and I want everybody to know about you. And you can be, man, you might be the sunlight in regards to this, because a lot of people, look, you said, hey, man, I'm going to do this. And then you took the route of, hey, I'm going to learn how to do it. And now you're just doing it on spirituality and know-how. And I really appreciate that, man, because a lot of people are, you know, as my man DJ Knox said, double dutching. They just bounce and waiting to get in, you know, and then they never get in. And man, you are truly an inspiration. What would you tell the people listening to you that help you just go, forget it, I'm doing it?
Man, I think I used to be one of those double Dutch people, man. I can't even lie. That's why I held the job for as long as I did. But it took for the right amount of support to be like, I don't know why you're still working this job. The food is really where you at, because while you're working, all you're doing is think about food. You ain't thinking about that job. So, man, it takes a leap. And then it also takes for that support too. So if you know that there is something that you're passionate about, and you kind of like mentally tricking yourself out of doing that, stop doing that.
Okay.
Stop doing that. Say again?
How long did it take you to stop, you know, that whole group of people to go, to just push you in there?
I would have to say it took me like a good year, man, because people have been trying to get me to go ahead and do food full time. They wanted me to do a food truck and all this stuff, man. But I was just like, I don't know, it's not guaranteed income for me. But when I wasn't looking, the income was guaranteed. I was just taking it from this office job and from here. So I'm like, all right, it's time for me to go ahead and do this now, because you know the demand is there.
So you start off like parties or whatever, and then plates and things of that nature. How would that work? Walk us through that.
So yeah, I think one of the first things I did was like I said, a ladies' brunch. I had mimosas and shrimp and grits, banana Foster's French toast, steak and eggs. I did the whole thing, and word of mouth spread. So then I was getting hit up for plates. I connected with some chefs out here. He's actually a chef for the Portland Trailblazers. So we started following each other. We started chopping it up. He had me come and cook with him for CJ McCollum and his fiance before they got married. The Nike headquarters is out here, so I cooked for a couple of VPs there. And man, I got Nike employees hitting me up for dinners every weekend, man. So it went from that one thing to here.
Oh, let me get this right. They flew you from Chicago out there to do your thing?
No. I was
yelling it.
No, I was already out here, and you know, they word of mouth just went. So I got that opportunity.
Okay. Is the ultimate goal to have a restaurant?
The ultimate goal is not to have a restaurant. I wouldn't mind having a food truck, but just being able to create my own menu and feed like a family, or just feed some different people is what my ultimate goal is. I mean, if it's a food truck, then I would go that route, because it gives me the ability to be a little personable with the people that come up to the truck and get whatever it is I got. And that way I can talk to them about it and find out, you know, what they think, and just go from there, man.
And you know what? Is it safe to say that you get a true pleasure out of seeing people enjoy your food? Yeah.
You know what? I call my foods like a Beauty and the Beast kind of thing. You know, when you get a nice plate of food and you see it, but when you first stick your fork into it, you make that face like, yeah, like look real mean with the good food. I like that.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Hey, man, I got a listener, man. He's a good friend of mine, and I think he should be doing what you're doing. The reason I think he should be doing what you're doing is This guy is so meticulous in the way he orders his food. If he orders an omelet, he goes, I want this, this, this. I want you to sear this to this point, and I want you to do this. And I believe that is the type of person you are. Am I cool in assuming that?
Hey man, you are absolutely right. And I just did that this morning. Like, I don't order a lot of food out because I cook my own food. But those days where I don't want to cook, I order something. And I got a country fried steak. And the thing was battered with, like, you ever had beer battered fish? It was battered in the same thing. I'm like, you don't put a steak in that. You got to have your own special chicken fried steak batter set aside. But I could taste that it had that fish like batter to it. And I wasn't happy with it.
How would you, because I've been trying to inspire my man for at least 3 years. I'm like, hey man, he wants to do something. He's in the midst of doing something else, and he's gonna hear and see this. I wouldn't be shocked if he popped in the chat room right now. What would you tell him to inspire him to go forward?
Man, I would tell him, make his best dish and give it to somebody who's never had his food. Watch how they eat it and respond to it. And then he gonna want to make it again for somebody else. But this time he gonna add like a little something different because he want to kick it up a notch. And that's just what we do, man. So that's what I would tell him. Let's make the best dish and see what happens.
That's what's up, man. Thank you. Because I'm telling you, man, I know he would be able to do exactly what you're doing, man. Because with that being, because I'm listening to you and I'm going, man, this is somebody who really loves this. And that's the thing, man. In my opinion, people in our community don't do what we like. We chase money way too much. It's now I understand with your situation, what you were saying, you were like, hey man, I got to make these ends meet. But that, as the brother previous to us, that's our job as the men in our community to make these ends meet. But simultaneously, it's always a quicker way and an easier way and a less stressful way to make the ends meet when we do what we like.
Yeah.
And how does that feel when you finish the meal? And you don't even have to see them, because I'm assuming when you watch doing this for families or parties, you don't even watch them eat. But how does it feel to sit back knowing, hey, I killed that? How does that feel?
You know what? You don't even be looking for it, but you'll actually get somebody that'll come up to you while you're in the middle of doing this, and they'll be like, I've never had that before. But the way you cooked it, now I want some more of it.
Right.
So an example of that was CJ McCullum's mom. We made some fried mushrooms. She said, I hate mushrooms. I don't never want to eat them. She came to the store while I was in the middle of cooking them. I said, all right, grab a paper towel. I pulled her one fresh out the grease. She let it cool. She ate it. And when dinner service came around, she was like, let me get about 6 more of those. For me, that's what it is, man. So just getting people to open up, be a little adventurous, I guess.
Okay.
Man, it's dope.
Tell the people what you want to tell them, man. Enough of me talking. Tell them what you want to tell them.
All right, so I'm not in the Chicago area. Like I said, I'm on the Pacific Northwest, but I'll be in Chicago May 4th through the 11th. I'm on Instagram, Chef Yorell, ChefYorell. You see the shirt? And that's where, like a bulk of my business comes from, word of mouth. Under the same name on Thumbtack. So Chef Yorell on Thumbtack. Those 2 places I'm frequently at. So please, yes sir, please hit me up. I'll set up some parties. We'll make it real nice and beautiful for you. The food will be good. Ambiance will be even better. Man,
thank you for coming on, brother.
Man, I appreciate it.
Man, anytime, man. As I told Supernova, you got a place, you got a seat at the table here at the end of the bench. You got a seat on the bench, man. You got a seat on the bench forever, man. Anytime you want to promote anything, anything, bro, you got my number. Reach out and say, B, I need 10 minutes Saturday. I need 10 minutes Tuesday. Or hell, if it's something big, just tell me, and if we don't have a show going on at that point in the network, we'll come on do it live.
Okay, that's what's up. I appreciate that.
Because, hey, man, if I can't help you, I can't help nobody, man. I cannot help anyone. If I can't help you, I can't help anyone. And then, man, it's just I'm just tired. I'm tired of us always saying, hey, man, we gotta do this and we need this, and I'm tired of that, man. No more. At one point, I'm gonna have, man, my goal, is, since we're speaking about goals, my goal is to have 0.5% of the Black community supporting my network, Built for This Network, and my show, The End of the Bench, on YouTube. I'm on this is simulcast. You can hear this on Built for This Network, and you can hear this on YouTube, and you can see it on YouTube, because if Bill Cosby, this is Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby said, if you can get 1/2 or 1% of the public to support you, you'll be wealthier than you ever assumed you could be. So my goal is to get 400 to 500,000 people to subscribe to Built for This Network, as well as my YouTube channel. That way we ain't got to worry. You ain't got to say, hey, man, I wonder, how can I want to, and follow me at HRap_B on Instagram. I'll hit you right back. And every time you post something dope, I'm sharing it with my people, man.
And you know what? When you hear that number, that 0.5%, for somebody not even thinking about it, that's like, man, that ain't even a whole percent. But right. When you think about that 0.5% of, I don't know, billions, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a number right there.
Right.
That's a number.
And, I say, I don't say anything rude. I'm not disrespectful. I don't hate anybody, because I don't have that type of energy in my soul. But what I do is speak directly to our folks, man. If you continue to listen, you'll hear the topics that I'm about to hit. And it's about us, man. I'm tired of watching the news. I'm tired of seeing things that are anti-us, So in order to make a difference, I'm gonna make a difference by introducing the world to people like you, introduce the world to people like Supernova, our corner of the world of Supernova. I heard his mom is dope. If y'all want to hear his mom, go to the Breakfast Club. Queen Afu, she was talking about the sisters. That's why I was like, man, I got to have somebody on here for the brothers. And because without the sisters, there ain't no brothers. Without the brothers, there ain't no sisters. We a team, man. We a team.
Yeah.
So thanks for coming on, man. I'm gonna shut this show down in a second.
All right.
And please continue to listen, because I got a couple things that I want to hit on about this Derek Chauvin thing and about this political landscape.
Yeah, I'm here for that.
All right, man. Thank you for coming on, man. It's always good to see you. It's hope to hear from you soon, and we gonna keep in touch, man. I swear to God.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, man. Peace out, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, bro.
All right, cool, man.
All right.
Peace out. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. Dick, thank you for being a subscriber. Thank you for coming in. It's a new face in the place. It's always good to see you. I hope I said that right. I ain't the smartest guy in the world. I just play one on the internet. But with that being said, man, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. I do want to continue from where I left off at earlier, man, because as I was talking to y'all, man, these corporations, they joking. They playing, they joking, and they don't mean us any good, man. So what I want to do is let y'all know, look, we don't have to present ourselves in the fashion that other people see us. And as they see us, it ain't doing us any good. Oh, man, we continue to present the Black community as other people see us. And it's an African tradition. I learned this from Dr. Greg Carr, Africana Studies. And he talks about it's the governance and it's the precedence. The precedence is how people see us. And the governance is how we see ourselves. And we have to focus on how we see ourselves. The reason I bring this up is this. It was this actress. Her name is, as Thandie Newton. But now she goes by her government name, because we live in a world in which people have taken liberties into assigning us names. When you're in our community, we got assigned names. We went from just a generic name, Kunta Kinte, to being Toby whatever, you know what I'm saying, to be Brian Williams, to be Kevin Johnson, or whoever, whatever your name is. we must stop allowing people to identify us. It seems extremely simple, but you can if we start using the resources that we have in our homes that you guys call grandparents, uncles, aunts, neighbors, these are resources. And if we start using those resources, guess what will happen? You'll pick up on little subtle things that they wouldn't do, that they would do, and you would go, wow. I knew a guy by the name of William, and we were at the doctor's office. And his mom, they said, Willie, come to the thing, Willie. Gave his last name, Willie. I don't want to put him out there. And his mom he was finna get up, and his mom grabbed him. She was like, your name is William. And as a kid, you're like, oh, Willie, William, whatever. Or Bill. That's taking your identity. You're not, it seems simple, but this is not. She said, this actress, she said she allowed people to call her Tandy because she had such an ethnic name that she didn't want people to, oh, you rocking the boat, get your black behind out of here. See, she's difficult to work with. But now that she's established, she's taken on her name. There's no right or wrong time to do the right thing. It's never too late. So the reason I will tell you guys to do this is because this is who you are. This is who you are. I took on the name HRap because people like in the chat room, like Rhonda, people like Big Illinois, they've known me since I was a teenager. And one thing of people have said about me, I was loud. I was in your face. So HRap Brown was the same way. So it's easier to be HRap B than to be Brian Williams sometimes because people get a little intimidated by my tone. I've had relationships dissolve because people say my tone, my tone, my tone. But guess what? Those same people accept me as HRap B. But it's still a persona that I chose. I've taken it on. It's a moniker, and it's a pseudonym that allows me to be more palatable for other people, for my liking, not for somebody else's liking. Your name is not Sandy. Your name is Sandra. Your name is not Ron. My name is Ronald. And you may think it's something minuscule, but when people change your name, they change who you are. I've had a name change in my life, a legal name change. And since that name's changed, there's something about having my dad's last name that empowered me. This is the name that my dad chose for me. My mom and my dad chose a name for me due to a typo that was changed. When I found out about a typo, I changed it back because it was important to me to have that name that my parents chose for me. And I promise you, since then, I do have a sense of power. So it is a power in name. It is a power in being yourself because you are who you say you are. If you call, just like if you say, like back in the day in Chicago, due to the culture, what's up, pimp? What's up, Mac? And most of those dudes are slimy and greasy. Let's just be honest. But think about it. I'm in the midst of creating a code of conduct that I want a lot of our brothers and sisters to adhere to and accept and put into their daily workings. And one of the rules and tenets is to stop calling each other my nigga. Start addressing people as my brother. Do you know how hard it is to hurt somebody who you address as your brother? If you got into an argument with somebody who you consistently, because the easiest thing to do is trick yourself. When you program something in your head, it's harder to get out of. You can't say, just like I gotta get up, like some people get up, they call it wake and bake. I can't function right. I can't function right without coffee. You keep saying it and you believe it. So when you start saying brother, 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 brother instead of nigga, I guarantee you a portion of the population will be less violent. Because when you say my brother or sister or sir to our elders or ma'am to our elders, these are parameters that have subconsciously been put in your head as a uptick in quality of person. And when you do that, you make sure that person push you in the best. You put that person in a position of respect, and you don't hurt people you respect. Again, then when we see on the news, black on black crime is out of control, we understand that that's just propaganda and news, because guess what? If we only make up 13% of the population and there are 15, 20,000 gun epidemics and gun incidents and a gun epidemic in the country, how is it possible for us to be leading it? Crime is a territorial thing. And for whatever reason, the people who control the media focus on us. And that's why it looks like we're more violent. Why is it that I can have two random brothers on my show today and we speak as if we have known each other for 50, 60 years? Because we don't hate each other. We don't enact moves of violence against each other. But those violent acts are highlighted every day. So it tricks you into believing that's what's going on. And it's not. Think about it, brothers and sisters. How many people do you know just sitting around hurting other people and like, oh, I'm finna kill somebody? We don't know a lot of killers. And guess what? The black community is not that gigantic. Therefore, we know if you live in a community, you know 8, 12 people that are a member of a street organization that the general public calls gangs. So but you just like, I grew up on a street called Cedric Street. There were 3 housing developments. It was the brown buildings, the orange door buildings, and the buildings that I lived in. You're talking about 8,000 people, and it was about 30 people part of the street organization. But the neighborhood was identified by that street organization. When you go into the buildings that they call Cabrini Green housing, the Good Times projects, when you don't know, if you're not from Chicago, there are literally thousands, tens of thousands of people in there, and most of them getting up, going to work. Most of them busting their ass every day. Most of them on their kids about homework. And again, it was very few people part of these organizations that they call gangs. But Cabrini Green is known for the few acts of violence that the news networks highlight. The West Side of Chicago. For people who don't understand, who don't know Chicago, this is the premise that I'm trying to get y'all to understand. When you watching the news every night in Chicago, you hear the South Side of Chicago is the most dangerous place in the world. And the people on the South Side of Chicago are afraid of the people on the West Side of Chicago, because that's where the crazy people are, allegedly. So if that's the case, how is it that that's the case? Because if the media frames the most violent side of town, you go along with the media. That's how you know, as a Chicagoan, that person on TV don't know what the hell he's talking about. Violence comes along with opportunity. One of the things that we're going to do away with at the end of the bench is this. If you or your son or your friend, neighbor, niece, nephew, cousin commits a criminal act, that is not a failure of that person. I'm going to say it again. The person committing the criminal act has not failed. That sounds crazy and foreign to my brothers and sisters, but I'm going to explain it to you. We get up every day. Like my brother who was just on here, Yoel. What was the third thing he said? I went to the legal Zoom joint. He got the EIN and he got the tax thing in order. Guess what that means? Every time he pays taxes. Taxes are designed to create opportunity. People commit crime because there's a lack of opportunity. So if there's a lack of opportunity in these specific communities, and the government is supposed to be providing these opportunities, did the person fail or did the government fail? Because guess what? There are very few people that walk the face of the earth that have opportunities and turn, you know what? I know I could make 80 grand over here doing such, this, that, and the third, but I'm going to go on here breaking this damn bank and take a chance on 50 years in jail. Nobody thinks like that, people. Nobody, or very few people think like that. Just to say nobody, we know there's some people out there, there's some bad apples out here. Hey, man, there's some bad apples out here. But that's one of the things we're going to stop doing. We're going to stop saying the person who's disenfranchised is wrong. It's the disenfranchisor that's wrong. It's the person who put you in the mind state of all I could do is criminal activity, because that's not all you can do. But when you in 1972, the president said, we got a war on drugs. And then he defunds the music programs in the 80s, I mean, the 70s. And everybody think, oh, well, they're going to allocate that to something else. And then in the and then in the 80s, meanwhile, they pumping drugs and military issued weapons into our communities. What we're going to do is we're going to remove the vocations from our schools. So now the people who used to be able to be a musician and used to be able to be a carpenter, I'm just going to give you my high school. I went to a vocational high school, prepared you for college, and gave you opportunity if you are not a college-bound person. Auto mechanics, welding, sheet metal. If you don't know what sheet metal is, if you ever look up and see those ducts that's along big giant buildings, that's sheet metal work. Tool and die, the people who make wrenches, the people who make screws, the people who make nuts and bolts. Those people are tool and die people. That was in my high school. Electronics, things of that nature. Architectural drawing. How about this, folks? You don't have to go to college to be an architect. You can go to a situation, you can go to a school that you used to be able to go to a school that would teach you how to be an architect. But they removed the fundings from those programs. You will limit home economics. They had a cooking program in my school. Imagine if the brother who just left the screen would have went to my high school. That cooking thing would have ignited when he was 16, 17, because that's what you do. You go into the class that you were focused on for 2 years, and then they put you in an apprenticeship program. This brother would be a millionaire. Are you telling me that wasn't important, but they took that out to school, and now when he didn't turn to crime, but when we turn to crime, oh, he's worthless. No, he had no outlets. It's people. How many of these dudes, imagine if obviously Dr. Dre didn't have a music program at Compton High. So imagine if they had a music program that put him in a position to elevate, to either go to SC or some other university or go down to an HBCU. My preference, go to an HBCU. And then he'd meet up with 4 or 5 other guys and they're musically inclined. What happens then? You get the damn Commodores. That's what happens. And you don't have to have all this synthetic music. That's why music isn't the quality that you like it. That's why that Isley brother, that Earth, Wind, and Fire thing was so poignant, because music taps into who you are. If I can guarantee you, my man is still listening. I can bring him back on the screen and he will tell you he has got music playing while he's preparing meals, because it ignites creativity. He's shaking his head right now. I don't know the brother. But see, these are the things that we've forgotten about, because we're living in a world where people tell us quick fix, money, quick fix, money. So you're going to tell me you live in a quick fix microwave society and you don't want me to commit a crime to get the money fast? No. I thought I'm a criminal justice major. First thing the professor told me first day of college: never talk to the police. They are not your friend. Yeah. Former police officers, they are not your friends. It's their job to lie to you to get you to tell on yourself. That's a quote. Second thing he said is the criminal justice system used to be about crime and rehabilitation. Now it's about crime and punishment, because you got the same people who on the radio stations are putting all, no disrespect to anybody doing their thing. I don't like it. I'm a man, but I don't want to see your booty every day, Cardi B. I don't want to see your booty every day, Megan. Y'all sexy ladies. Hell yeah, it's sexual thoughts going through my head, but I don't want to see that all the time. Let me guess. It used to be super cool when me and the homies used to watch people, Rhonda and her crew, walk past and be like, shorty look good and that. I bet you she look better. Ooh. That was you can ask any man in the chat room. That's even better than seeing the naked girl. The thought-provoking, the, hey, what's up? The inspiring thoughts. You classy, but I still think you're sexy thing. But that's what the same people that put Cardi B and what's the girl, Megan Thee Stallion, on the bed grinding on each other are the same people that remove these programs and push dope and criminal activity in our community. If you don't believe me or you don't buy into what I'm saying, that's cool. But all I have to do, most of us have relatives on the West Coast. Most of us have relatives in the South, and most of us have relatives in the East Coast. How about this? Reach out to some of your friends in the South, in Texas, and in the South, Alabama, and watch they have. And if in LA, my man D Grade is in the chat room. I think he might be listening. Ask them, do they know this story? A train car stops in the middle of the hood that was open, and there was a bunch of guns there. How was it that Corrupt and Big U, the Crips from the East West Coast, some of the homies from Texas, Willie D, and some of the other rappers from Texas, some of my homies from the west side of Chicago, some of my homies from the south side of Chicago, none of them know each other, but they all have the exact same story. How is that possible? It's possible because we're in a situation that people try to dominate us and put us in a situation so they can benefit off our pain. If we want to continue to allow that, that's cool, man, but I'm not with it. I am not with the nonsense. Please. There go my man Ray the Kev. He's from Louisiana. He knows the story. How is it possible? If Ray the Kev knows that he's Louisiana, Big U from LA, I'm from Chicago. We don't know each other before now. How the hell is it possible? Another thing, stop trying to be part of the status quo. I need brothers and sisters to stop right now. Right now. Stop. The reason I'm saying that is this. Status quo will get you behind every time. It is behind. If you see it on TV, if you see it being promoted, that means it's too late. It's already done. It's all the people who are going to profit off of it. They've already profited off of it. What I mean by this, they're consistently slowing us down. Coding and billing is the number one thing. Coding and building are the number one things in the earth right now. If you are not doing something like food service, like our brother who just left, or dietary and life and health and wellness, like the brother who was first on the show, if you're doing something like I'm doing right now, coding makes this possible. A lot of programs for coding for children are free. See, they put these things in front of you so they can say, we gave you the chance, and then our kids don't get them, and we like, hey, why we can't get the job? Because in 2021, Rap told you, in 2021, you see commercials all the time. Go to YouTube, you'll see a free coding commercial almost every 5 videos. Coding, coding, coding. Get adults into coding, get kids into coding. Anybody who has a functioning brain, I need you to start trying to learn to code. There are free programs at universities from coast to coast, border to border. If you don't, now, remember I said status quo get you left behind. Show you how important coding is. 2004 is the inaction of the Facebook virus, because that's what it is. We all infected with it. The Facebook virus came out in 2004. What was you doing before that? A lot of us was on MySpace. Now, what did you have to do on MySpace? You had to create your own code to be posted. So I just couldn't put a picture of my man Chef Urel on there. I had to create a code to put him on there. Oh, this is my man, he killing it on the food game, and I would have to create a code and then I would put it in there. I couldn't do this my man HRap, check it out. You had to create a code. And you know what they did? That started becoming popular. MySpace was the hottest thing in the world. And what happened? They did away with MySpace and gave you Facebook, so it's just copy and paste and put it on there. Oh, this is so much easier. No, it's so much stupider. It's so much stupider. Because if I know how to build something from scratch electronically, i.e., all of y'all used to see me with a different logo. Y'all see a different logo right now, don't y'all? Don't y'all? As a matter of fact, I will even post my new logo. I figured out how to do it with the tools that are on my damn computer that I want to spend my hard-earned money for. I set my ass up all night and I created this. It don't look like a lot to y'all, but it's a transparency. And what is a transparency? It allows me to become a logo. It allows me to make a logo, and it also allows me to put myself in the best possible situation to get paid via t-shirts and things like that. I can't do it while I'm live on air. If I wasn't live on air, if I could take myself down, I could do it, but y'all wouldn't hear me. It ain't worth not being able to hear me because I'm about to end this show. But it is a way to do this. Now I created a logo from scratch. It is transparent. It is digitized. All I have to do is send it to the printer and they'll put it up. Guess what? I just saved myself probably about $150. $150, between $80 and $150. I just saved myself there just playing around with this very computer. So this coding thing, this Facebook thing, they want to keep you as dumb as possible so they continue to benefit off your lack of information. The reason I bring that up is the next thing, look, it was Facebook, and then it was Twitter, and then it was Instagram. And the new thing is Clubhouse. But guess what? The dudes who had the Facebook thing stolen from them, the Winklevoss twins, they are the financial backbone of what we know as Bitcoin. Yeah. And guess what they're doing? The Winklevoss twins are preparing to create another network that you can say exactly what you want to say because they want to have freedom of speech. But guess what? Freedom of speech, some of this freedom of speech, we live in one of the most racist countries in the history of the earth. So now you can openly threaten people, you can openly intimidate people, and you can openly put people in bad situations and tell lies. But it's going to be on their crypto network that you're going to have to pay to get in, and then they'll continue to make insane amounts of money, and you'll be left behind because we haven't created our own Facebook. We haven't created our own Instagram. We over-index in all of these fashions, folks. That's why I need us to support the Corey Holcombs, to support the Lamont Kings, to support the Craig Facts, to support Talib Kweli's, myself, the Willie D's, the Boyce Watkins, and everybody who's the Tariq Nasheeds, and everybody who's doing it on this level, who's trying to uplift us, because the circle is, if they uplift us, we get ourselves in a better situation. We get our better selves in a better situation. Guess what? We employ each other. We employ each other. It's going to be less people going to jail. Less people going to jail. That means a better community. A better community means it's safe again, and we back to normal. Point blank, period. End of the sentence, full stop. Now, what I'm not going to do this Roy Fisher thing because it's not paramount, and I'm pressed for time because I've been on almost 2 hours. I know you guys are probably sick of hearing me at this point because I'm sick of hearing me. Now, what I am going to talk about is this Derek Chauvin murder trial. The Derek Chauvin murder trial is coming to the point where the defense is about to take the floor. And when the defense takes the floor, they're going to present arguments that debunks everything, even though day before yesterday they had a lung expert come on in and basically say the reason that man is dead, and I'm an expert in regards to breathing, is because this man had his knee on his neck. And if you watch the video closely, you can even see murderer Chauvin put his knee up and lift his feet off the ground. Lift his feet off the ground. And I don't know, all those people who that's promoting this foolishness about the reason he did is because of drugs. Well, I'll tell you what, if you believe that, I'm not gonna argue with you. You know what, you might be right. Well, how about this? If you believe Derek Chauvin Derek Chauvin didn't kill our brother George Floyd, and brother George would be alive if he wasn't high, I'm assuming you're not high now. All you have to do is meet me in Chicago anywhere you want. We can come out in front of your house. I'm gonna sit my big ass on your neck for 9 minutes. If you don't die, then George Floyd died from drugs. And if you die, sign some type of paperwork, and then I don't get prosecuted, and you cool. How about that? No, you're not willing to do that, so shut the hell up. Derek Chauvin, this trial, what we need to do is this as a community. I'm begging everybody, if you agree with me, please spread this word, and then I'm out. Do not react no matter what. If Derek Chauvin goes to jail for 8, 9, 10, 20, 40 years, so what? We should go. If Derek Chauvin gets off, we should go. The reason being, when's the last time you saw a trial on TV? O.J. Simpson. Why did it take this long for another trial to be on TV? Equally controversial and equally polarizing, right? you have a situation to whereas everybody is shocked. Well, 60% of the population, according to the USA Today, says that was a murder. Now it's down to 30. First and foremost, how did only 60%? How is the number so low to 60%? 6 out of 10 people, 4 out of 10 people say that wasn't murder. That should bother you right there. The most important thing is this. If we react in any way, shape, form, or fashion, we let people know what's on our mind again. See, we have to stop being reactionary to what the dominant society does to us and our folks. You know, exactly. The trial does seem pointless. He is guilty. Thank you, brother. What we need to realize is a lot of the things that are happening in society today are triggers for us. They go, okay, let's see if we do this, what will they do? And then they know how to control us. Soon as, like, we hadn't heard from Candace Owen in months. When the trial started, they threw her out there. She condemned my brother George. Jason Whitlock gets fired from Fox. He's in anonymity. 2 weeks ago, he tweets out, Derek Chauvin, other police officers don't need to go to jail. George Floyd's drug dealer needs to go to jail. It creates chaos on Twitter because, well, what y'all don't know, 36% of Twitter is run by us. Twitter actually, y'all ready for this? Twitter actually funded a party called Black Twitter and invited all the participants in Black Twitter to a party. You see what I'm saying? They keying in on us. This is what makes them go off, and then we'll know how to act next. If you continue to react to the oppressor's oppressive nature, you're falling victim to his tactics. We can no longer, oh man, I'm sick of this shit. No. You already sick of this shit. Guess what? In 1619, when they traded those 9 brothers or 29 brothers, I mean, it was between 9 and 29, I don't know. When they traded those Africans for food, we were sick of this shit. In 1776, when we had to teach George Washington how to immunize his dumbass self after he took teeth out of our brothers and sisters, out of our ancestors' mouths so he would have a better looking smile, we were sick of that shit. After they had free brothers and sisters in New York and Philadelphia was getting snatched up and shipped down to Virginia and other places so they could be enslaved. They were born free. They were never enslaved, and they were getting captured. It's a book out there to say it. It's a white dude that wrote the book. So a lot of people don't even believe him. It's a brother. He's just doing it from an angry black man perspective. But when we were sick of this shit, when they created those black codes so they could reincarcerate you, because if you stand around, like, what I want y'all to understand is most of the laws of the United States of America are designed to keep you in a specific box. You don't believe me? Watch this. There was no such thing as a loitering law in 1860. The loitering law came about after emancipation, after 1865, after we won the war. You don't think we won the war? After I finish this sentence, I'll explain that too. So after 1865, when we won the war and we were emancipated, they said, if you stand around doing nothing, that's illegal. You know why they did that? Because if you break the law, not if you have a felony, not if you have a heinous crime, if you break the law, you go back to jail, and then you're subjected to slavery again. Now we can rent out people to put them in slavery. The reason I say we won the war, because I'm tired of my brothers and sisters being bamboozled by this nonsense that Abraham Lincoln freed us. That war started in 1862. They was getting their draws kicked in their ass. 1863, he said, oh, damn, we got to do something. And he brought in the brothers. But he didn't give us no weapons. 1864, in November, he gave us weapons. The war was over 4 months later. We freed ourselves. Didn't nobody free us. But back to what I was saying. We're already sick and tired, and we need to stop responding, burning down things, and, oh, we're going to tear it up. No. How you tear it up is this. You start finding food trucks owned by our brother who just left. You start eating the food that our brother, eating the food and participating in food from the brother that was on the first hour of the show. We start using official Black Wall Street. Yes, I'm going to promote this every chance I get. This app, Official Black Wall Street, that every time you ride past a Black-owned establishment, that establishment has been vetted, there will be a notification that comes up on your computer that you call the phone. We're going to go to One United Bank and open up bank accounts and deal with them. We're going to find dealerships that are Black-owned and deal with them. And we're going to call One United to get bank loans to deal with them. That's how we get angry. Tearing up stuff in our neighborhood, so now your grandmama can't get an insulin, cousin Tyrone can't get his insulin, and all this. They can't get their stuff, and it's harder for us. It's no longer. You mad at certain communities who disrespect us, don't take your ass in that store anymore. What we're going to start doing is getting together and finding out what we need to do is start getting together and finding out where the elders at in our community and start helping people get to Black-owned stores. That's how you get angry. That's how you get angry, brothers and sisters. So enough of reacting to the oppressive tactics. And what we need to do is react to our lack thereof and focus on helping each other. With that being said, I want to thank everybody for hitting that like button on Built for This Network. I want to thank everybody for hitting that like button on the End of the Bench on YouTube. Please hit the subscribe, hit that bell, so every time it's a show, you'll get notified. That's like on Spreaker. Every time we launch, you get a notification. I really appreciate the support, man. That's why I don't call y'all followers, because y'all support me. Y'all support my business partners, Chief Rocker, my brother, DJ Mad Knox. Y'all support DJ Purpalicious, my man, Big Illinois, Mooka Dean, the new dude, Dre, the new lady, Lexus, my man Chiz Roundtree, James Earl, the Jaw Jackets tomorrow at 10 a.m. Rob and TC and Dorian, and I'm on that show as well. What we did was bring the man cave to the internet. We acted a fool. We yelling and screaming at each other. We got mad love for each other. And if you want to be a podcast, you reach out to us, man, because we trying to provide voices for everybody in our community. Maybe you're a blabbermouth dude like me, and you got a lot of opinions to get off your chest. We here for it. We're here for it. We're here to help you. We're here to help you. I'm here to get information to my people. The name of my show is Build and Destroy, where I'm building up our community by conversations by us, about us, and destroying the lies and propaganda about us. We're going to kill that. Salute to Chef Urel. Salute to my brother Supernova Sloan. Salute to all y'all who listening, who enjoyed the show. I hope so. I want to let y'all know tomorrow the Jaw Jackets will be on. Monday, number one Chief Rocker. Me and DJ Knox burn it down Tuesday. Maybe DJ Dre Wednesday. DJ Mad Knox, Chiz Roundtree, James Earl on Thursday, along with Big Illinois, DJ Mad Knox Friday, and 168 hours from right this minute, 166 hours from right this minute, I'll be back on running my yap with more information. I got a sports culture and athletic forum with me and some people, man. We're gonna have a damn good time. And exactly. My sister Rhonda just reminded me. Let's not forget the family that I'm trying to create right here on Built for This Network. Well, we're gonna make a concerted effort to shop with somebody Black on the 7th of every month, the 17th of every month, and the 27th of every month. If we make that a habit, guess what happens? Opportunities expand. Our people be yet less likely to commit crimes because stores will get bigger, and we will overcome this nonsense. As I do at the end of every show, I salute all of my favorite podcasters, as I've done already. Salute to Reggie O'Shea for overseeing this show. He don't know me, but I know him. He has transitioned. Rest in peace, Reggie. And he always says, dream those dreams. He used to say, dream those dreams, and man up and woman up and live those dreams, because life without dreams flows in black and white. Life with dreams flows in technicolor surround sound. and one of my favorite podcasts, Craig Facts, Tuesdays and Thursdays. I stole this from him. Craig, you're going to have to get mad at me at another time because this is dope as hell. If I owe you something, I ain't got it. And if you need it, get it from God.